a storm or a perfect friend. Turn or trend, they both bend. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, screen glow bright, midnight dance. One more move, one more chance. Stop, lost tight, but my hope runs wide. Do I bail right now or let this ride? Every signal talks like it knows me. Every move could crown me or ghost me. I'm tracing the arc in my mind, chasing the shape I can't find. Hey, turn or trend, they both bend. Riding that swing till the very last, stand up and down. Again, again, are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both bend. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, spin that doubt, round and round. Hear that hush in the crowd. Is it just a twist or the start of a run? I'm lost in the gust, but it feels like fun. Oh yeah. Turn or trend, they both bend. Riding that swing till the very last, stand up and down. Again, again, are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both bend. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend. Shots on the wall, coffee gone cold, finger on the trigger, heart runs bold. Tick tock tick, red turns green. Is this that flip or the start of a scene? Every candle feels like a question, every heartbeat bets on direction. I'm caught in the curve of the line, right on the edge of the sign. Oh, turn or trend, they both bend. Riding that swing till the very last, stand up and down. Again, again, are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both bend. I can feel it in the air. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, screen glow bright, midnight dance. One more move, one more chance. Stop, lost tight, but my hope runs wide. Do I bail right now or let this ride? Every signal talks like it knows me. Every move could crown me or ghost me. I'm tracing the arc in my mind, chasing the shape I can't find. Hey, turn or trend, they both bend. Riding that swing till the very last, stand up and down. Again, again, are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both bend. I can feel it in the air like wind blow through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend. Spin that doubt round and round. Hear that hush in the crowd. Is it just a twist or the start of a run? I'm lost in the gust, but it feels like fun. Turn or trend, they both bend. Riding that swing till the feeling up and down.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, Kay is not here today. I know it's a heartbreak for all of you, but she's in China. She's exhausted, so I just told her to go to sleep. We're going to do macro ourselves today. It's all going to be really driven by Iran headlines anyways. So we will be, I'm happy to go through the whole calendar. As a matter of fact, let me pull up her, everything is really on her feed. So if you go to x.com, Kathy Lean FX, she actually posted the big schedule for this week. Here we go. As far as the big numbers, non-farm payrolls on Friday, Chicago PMI, is a manufacturing confidence, Eurozone CPI midweek, and then UK GDP, Canada GDP, trade, Australia RBA minutes, which is nothing, Japan CPI, which will be pretty big. So really the big events this week, of course, center around US non-farm payrolls at the end. The big drop last month, I think, was a shock. It'll be interesting to see if we see any kind of a comeback on that. We're also entering the Passover Easter holiday this week, into next week. And so literally the desk is, we're going to be gone pretty much over next week. I'm leaving on Friday, so unfortunately I cannot trade with you guys on Friday. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun, but I'll leave you with all the tools to trade well on Friday. I have no idea if I'm going to have enough internet from the DR to be able to trade with you guys Monday through Friday next week. I'll test it out and I'll post it if I can, but most likely I'm kind of assuming it might be a problem. So we'll see if I'm going to be able to trade with you guys next week. It's, holiday week generally tends to be the worst trading week, even sometimes worse than Christmas week as far as flows. This year could be different because we have the war overlay, which means that, of course, there could be just a ton of headlines up and down all the way through. So, we'll have to see. But we'll take it one day at a time as far as trading next week. This week, I'm here with you all the way through Thursday, so happy to hang out. There's a lot of trading stuff, related stuff that I did over the weekend. That's going to make a huge difference for all of you that we'll talk about a little bit later. But first of all, open mic Monday. I'm going to change this up a little bit. Any questions on macro, hit me with, what you're thinking, what you want to discuss. I'm going to go through the calendar kind of bit by bit with you guys to isolate what I think are the big macro events worth looking at. And then we're going to just, turn over into the trading mechanics because there's just so much stuff that I wanted to cover with you there. So let's go into Forex Factory. In the meantime, you guys just fire up your questions. Do I think is a short bounce? Are we setting up for a broader correction? Walter, it's definitely a short-term bounce. We're, I think we're pretty, anything can happen, but I think it's going to be hard for the market to shrug off the supply shock out of oil and gas. Looks like the operation in Iran is going to be longer. They're going after the nuclear fissile material, so troops on the ground. Whatever negotiations are happening, I think it's going to take longer than people think. I do think the Strait of Hormuz is going to open up a lot. I think in the long run, it's going to be super bullish. I think the Iran war is going to be one of the most bullish events over the next year or two. But do I think we have a 20% correction before we bounce back? Yes. Remember, sometimes the greatest, I mean, the best bounces come off the 20% correction. So that means, could NAS come down to 20,000? Absolutely. But then after that, it's going to just have a vicious parabolic move. Trump was always speaking optimistically, but he's not the one playing the game. The mullahs are gonna drag this out as long as they can, try to squeeze out the best best terms. I think nobody really knows how this thing plays out, but for now, you just kind of have to assume that it's going to be a slog. I don't think it's going to get resolved this week. So we'll see. So we'll see. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? So looking at the calendar, let's just look at the calendar day by day. Or actually, I wonder if I could go the whole week. Let me see if I can do the weekly. Where's this thing? I think we can do by week. This week, right? There we go. Apply settings. Okay. Let's go just through the whole week and kind of, isolate what I think is interesting on the cal. So what do we have today? UK. This is interesting. I think, China, of course, is going to be an interesting look. I think people are going to be trying to see how much Iranian conflict has had an impact on the Chinese manufacturing PMI. I would hazard a guess bigger than people think. So this might be an interesting look today as far as numbers go on the macro front. Then we have core CPI in Europe. I don't think that's really going to be much of a change, although maybe, I don't know, energy could be a big impact here, because of all the regions in the world that's suffering the most from the Iran conflict, is going to be Europe. They're the most hapless and the most dependent on the oil and gas from that region, which is completely interrupted to them. So we'll see. We'll see on the CPI numbers. Jolts will be interesting. So far, it's just sort of been no higher, no fire economy, and that seems to be, I think, the basic macro environment. Trying to see, what do we have? So we really don't have anything on the U.S. side until Wednesday, when we get ADP. ADP, it's actually been a pretty good sort of a core forecaster. I mean, ADP has been showing negative reads for quite a long time. I think the NFP's finally caught up with it. So it'll be interesting to see what, I think ADP is going to be taken more seriously now, especially if their readings kind of begin to converge the NFP readings. Core retail sales will be interesting to see if the spend continues, given the rise. This will be the first core retail sales against the jump in gasoline prices. So it'll be interesting to see if the consumer's still standing. Then ISM manufacturing on Wednesday, also important to take a look at. I think services come after. So usually services is what gives us a really great view into the non-farm payrolls, but services come after non-farm payrolls, so we don't get to see that. We have non-farm payrolls on Friday. Market looking for a bounce here. The unemployment rate staying the same. So we'll see what the structures. Of course, all of this is going to develop against whatever headline we get out of Iran every single day. Services is Friday, but post, right? So it's really kind of unimportant. The reason why I say it's unimportant is because it comes after the ISM services reports after non-farm payrolls, so it doesn't give us a kind of a forecasting view. Usually, ISM services employment is the best correlated to the non-farm payrolls employment. But yeah, I don't think we got much. I'm trying to think. Do we want to? We might want to do. I think we might, since I'm not going to be here Friday to trade with you non-farm payrolls. I think what we'll do is we'll do an 8 o'clock trade on Wednesday, and we'll try to do like a news straddle on Wednesday against ADP and core retails. I don't know if it's going to be enough juice to put us through the loop. But we'll definitely try to trade a couple of accounts that way on the move. So overall, it's a big week, but all the economic data just, of course, completely gets subsumed by the geopolitical data, because that's really where things are as far as everybody looking. Does anybody have any questions for me on the macro side, as far as where the funda impact is going to be? What's interesting, I think, is the markets are completely shrugging off a lot of this negative news. We are above VWAP. The ORB trades are all essentially firing to the upside. You see this trade winner, this trade winner. I am now, by the way, if you guys want to, all of you guys who are new here, the first order of business for everybody before you do anything is to subscribe to FX Flow, to follow FX Flow and Kathy Lean FX on Twitter, because I'm actually, if you look at my feed, I'm experimenting with it this week just to get this programmatically correct. But I am feeding my ORB levels into my Twitter feed. So, for example, this is the London levels, right? London session ORB levels, highs, lows, and it gave you very, very good good levels. You buy the rips through 24.43. If you look at the market now, we're at 23.500, right? If you bought that rip, you had great insight into trading it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to publish the Asia, London, and New York ORB levels on NQ. And once we get that done relatively well, I'm happy with it's working programmatically, then we will start doing the same thing with gold, so that you can use my Twitter feed essentially as a reference source for each session. And of course, for those of you guys who are at my webinar and saw some of the back of the underneath the engine, underneath the hood type of things on the ORB opening range break strategy for NQ, by far the single most important data point will be the New York session. So if you just want to focus on the New York session, that's definitely going to be the right levels. And of course, gold worked really well on all sessions. And it's just, I just want to get the NQ working right, and then I'm going to switch gold on. And if you guys follow my feed, you're going to be able to get those sessions there. Obviously, going to fire off literally as soon as those sessions complete. So that would be at 7 o'clock, 1900 hour New York for Asia print, 4 a.m. for London print, and 10 a.m. for the New York print. No, I don't use the VIX or anything other for the ORB sessions. The ORB sessions, be using dots, which intrinsically are volatility bearing indicators, anyways. We try to not complicate things. We try to simplify things as much as possible. So speaking of simplification, trying to simplify and compress things into much more meaningful data sets, you probably will notice something interesting when you're looking at the dots only. Let me mute the ORB levels just to show this to you. Oops, sorry. Wait, where's my, okay, so this is, wait, hold on, where am I? Okay, so ORB is turned off, just to kind of show you. And all I have right now is my dots only. And what I want everybody to, first of all, notice is that the latest version of dots only for you to upgrade to is something called DD plus PP, which may sound very complicated, but it's actually simplifying everything into the most perfect trend chop indicator you will find. That doesn't mean that it works all the time, but it's literally the most perfect structure for finding trend chop ideas that I possibly can give you. Okay, so everybody, first of all, who's got the access to an indicator, please update to the new version, which is the DD plus PP, and I'll explain to you what this is now showing up. So what I've done with the dots only indicator is, remember we have the price. Geez, I forgot. I forgot what the Jesus Christ. What does PP stand for? Price progress, right? Price progression delta. The price progression delta formula measures the candle to candle forward progress, right? Again, it's the idea is a kid is walking to school, right? And let's say from his house to the school is 200 yards. And if he walks directly from his house to his school, he's walked 200 yards to reach the school. That's like a perfect delta move, right? But suppose he decides, hey, I'm going to go visit Tommy and Jimmy and Buddy before I go to school. So he goes left 100 yards, right 100 yards, left 100 yards, right 100 yards. Basically, he's walked like 3,000 yards to get to the same 200-yard distance because he's gone off the sides. That's chop in the market, right? And price progress delta measures the quality of movement. The straighter, the cleaner the movement over an X period of times. And I believe it's a 10 period look back. I think, let me see what the default look back is on the PPP. 8. It's actually 8 period look back on PPP. That tells you, it's really moving forward. Therefore, that gives you a read on prices really moving up. And there's even a more subtle measurement that it's doing. It's sort of like, one use case where it's actually making lots of good movement, but you don't see it, is a V shape. So price makes zero movement, right? 100 to 100 over here. It looks like it's zero movement, but actually underneath it, if it does a V shape, it's very, very tradable for us. We love that because it's actually very, very tradable. So we actually measure that V shape by cutting our algorithm into two halves. And if the second half looks very vertical, that gives us a green reading, and it actually even tells us that it's a V-shaped read. So there's just a lot of incredible sophistication and subtlety in the price progress delta indicator. But then on top of that, the other indicator. Remember, I was kind of brainstorming with you guys on Friday, and the thing that I, wanted to really express to you is that the dots themselves, right? The actual dot structure is an incredibly strong forecaster of momentum. Dots themselves are momentum products, right? So if you have 3 dots over the last 4 or 5 periods, that's a high indication. If prices are constantly, breaking all highs, or breaking all lows over X period of times, that means there's a lot of buying, a lot of pressuring. It's exactly the same thing as footprint in volume, except using it in price. So what I've done in terms of like the latest simplicity is I've combined these 2 indicators, and when they fully confirm each other, it shows you trend. It shows you that price is in trend, right? Which means it doesn't show you that the trend doesn't mean that there's a signal. It means that there is a fertile background for a signal. It basically means that you are in a background that's ready to produce a clean dot signal, right? The final filter that it has to pass the muster through, aside, obviously, and slope, by the way, slope is built into the whole idea. The final filter is that the range itself, right? The actual width of highs and lows over last 30 minutes has to be wide enough for us to create a legitimate condition for a dot. So even if we have trend, and you see over here, the way it's working is there's no range box. And the reason why there's no range box is because the range basically is below our minimum volatility threshold, which in this case, I put the volatility threshold, actually it should be 160, 40 points. I need to have 40 points worth of movement in NASDAQ in order for me to even begin to consider a legitimate, breakout condition. So it sort of goes in this kind of hierarchy. Range is foremost. You don't have range, you don't have a signal. Then if once you have range and you have trend, and trend is a subcomponent of dot count and PPP movement and slope, then you have all the conditions ready for a dot. And then if a dot appears, as you can see, dots appear, when all these conditions are met, the dots are going to be on the chart. And when you see that when the dots are on the chart, they're extraordinarily accurate. Yes, I mean here, obviously you have even here, here you have a 1-2, flip as markets just kind of die out, and that's going to happen. You can never eliminate false chop signals altogether, but you can eliminate so many of them overall that generally what you see, like you looking over here, literally every single dot signal here is a winnable trade. Even this particular sell signal, if you have a wide enough stop like I do, is survivable. And then there's a sell signal here that's of course winnable, and then the buy signal is winnable. Bottom line is just to kind of show you, I've been trading this particular filtered approach, right? This very much filtered approach, and these are the trades for today. And if you want to see the results, hang on, I think I had them here. Let me show you. I don't want to reveal them to you because you won't believe me until I tell you. But this is just over the last, and this doesn't even have like the latest trades in there, but I pulled up all the 5 accounts that I traded overnight. And the thing that you will see, right, on all these accounts, look at this win rate. 18 winner. Can you see, let me just go this big. You see this win rate? 18 winners, 2 losers, right? Whether, forget the way I trade, you don't have to trade the way I trade, you have to do anything my way. But the point is, what I'm trying to explain to you is that the actual accuracy of that signal is markedly improved. And how you want to use it, with what kind of win structure is up to you. But the actual point about this is that it's really much better with this final little mechanism. So go out there, upgrade that to the final thing, and I think you guys will be very happy. It's also, I think, a lot more intuitive. So, for example, you look at the chart right now, you see that yes, now you're in a legitimate range zone, but now you're basically chopped as far as price goes. So range zone is wide enough, but now we really have to have a trend, filter working for us. And then if we have a dot, then we're going to take the trade, right? Very simple, really clean, super intuitive, layout for how you want to trade this. Hey, Roland, nice to have you with us. Anybody who wants to get access to dots needs to be part of my coaching. We're free. We're happy to trade for free for you, but if you want the indicators, they are part of our coaching. Let me put the coaching link over here for you guys. Hang on, let me just get this up here. I'm actually going to pin this link so that everybody can understand that. Sorry, hang on a second. I gotta switch accounts. Just bear with me a sec, guys. Okay, I'm gonna pin this. So the coaching link is pinned. Please go ahead, take advantage. It's a great deal. You get 6 months. You get the full coaching with me. You get coaching with Kathy, completely free. If you want to trade Forex as well, you get her indicators as well. It's really like one for the price of 2 at a massive discount. And, you're ready to go. I had a couple of people over the weekend come in and, very glad to have new traders in the room. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. We are in I think the cleanest, clearest, most accurate dot environment we can possibly create. And you'll see, you'll see me taking trades against this combination of filters. I think hopefully you'll enjoy the results. Of course, you never know. We could get chopped, whatever. But this is me taking trades literally all night long. As you can see, very little stress. all the accounts are moving where I want them to go. I'm literally within, I think, $300-400 of getting funded on 4 of these accounts. Not getting funded, getting paid out on 4 of these accounts, with very, very clean structure. So I hope you guys really, really like that. I think it's really worthwhile. Okay, Walter is asking a great question. So one of the most complicated, complex, and annoying aspects of the indicators is actually the time settings, both for the ORB and for the dots only, right? So I have finally figured out how everybody across the world can set the proper time settings, right? And the reason why it's so confusing, let's explain why it gets so confusing about sessions and time settings. It gets confusing because futures markets, depending on what instrument, are actually trading in 2 different time frames. We actually have, guys, we have a pop here. Let's go buy it. Legit trade. We are white dot, long dot. I have this one account. This is the one account that's not close to. I want to run this to maybe 500. I'm going to try and run this account as my primary account with you guys today. Try to see if I can run this to the 500 level, the next 100 level here. So long here. I'm long here. The close was 506. My target is 10 forward, 30 back. Let's see how this gets done. I'm trading 1 micro. The structure that I'm trading is, I literally traded 1 micro only today, all day long. Even when I got clipped, I did not add, did not increase. My rule of thumb right now is literally the most conservative way of trading. I trade, I win, I stay in the account. I trade, I lose, I change the account parameters. Okay, I change which account I'm trading. And by the way, today we're gonna roll over into wealth charts as well. So we're gonna trade this account, and then if we get to 100, we're gonna roll over into wealth charts. Even though the wealth charts doesn't have the signals the way I have it properly, it will have those signals soon. I'm actually gonna talk to Sean today, see where we are on the coding status. It will have this functionality, the very latest functionality that I have for you, because I'm going to make sure that they update it with this later functionality. So, and once we have that, it's going to be set in stone. It's going to be really, really good. So everybody's going to be able to trade wealth charts as well as Tradeovate with me. And we're going to do a lot more wealth charts, because what we're going to do, hopefully, once we standardize on the whole structure and system, is we're going to just literally rotate through 10 accounts, continuously, $100 per day into each account and roll it over. ORB is not what I updated. It's the dots only that's updated. The ORB stays the same. Yes, Tony. So this is what I'm going to walk you through the time zones right now in just 1 second. I just want to make sure. So guys, the download is BFF dots only. That's what I updated. The ORB stays the same. The ORB does not change. Okay. Again, to make sure that everybody understands. So you want to be updating the dots only. That's the one that contains the chop trend indicator, the turn on, turn off range, and all the other stuff that makes it easy. Is that clear? Somebody give me a yes. Give me a +1. Give me a I understand sign that you guys are clear as to what I'm doing. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to set up and configure these time zones. Okay. Thank you, Cheryl. So again, so you understand the basic confusion in setting up the time zones comes from the fact that gold trades New York and NASDAQ, S&P stock indices trade Chicago. So since we're only trading NASDAQ, S&P stock indices, basically all the Chicago products, first and foremost, doesn't matter where we are in the world, we are going to orient ourselves to Chicago time. We're going to set everything on Chicago time, right? Because we're pivoting off Chicago. That's what drives the proper session hours for us. Okay, I'm just watching this trade here. I'm hoping that we can hit the target. I'm just waiting for the thing to sweep up so you guys can see. Come on, already, come on. This is so annoying. It's missing me by like literally a half a pip, half a point. All right, so we will not watch this. So what does that mean that we're gonna pivot on Chicago? I'm gonna go into the BFF dots only, UTC, DD plus PP, just like giving you all the feature sets so you know that this is the latest one. And we're going to go into the section that sets up all the times, all of the session times, right? And the first order of business that we're going to do, show session boxes, section 12, right? Kathy's not been here today, guys. Kathy is in China. She will not be here this week and probably not here next week. She's in China. She's visiting friends and family. So, I told her to go sleep because she's exhausted. Okay. You will have to do with me, and any macro questions I'm happy to answer, but honestly, none of it fucking matters because it's really all about where the next boom goes and how much that's going to impact everything else. So let's focus on, trading the market, right? Price will tell us where things go, and that's what we're going to trade price. We're not going to trade macro right now. So here's what I want you to focus on. We're doing NASDAQ only. NASDAQ only is Chicago. Chicago is -5 to UTC. You need to set your UTC to -5, okay? And then once you set it to -5, everything else will adjust. And what you want to do, and we'll do the ORB in just a little bit, but let's just do the dots. On the dots, Asia starts at 22 UTC and ends at 755. That's like, in other words, these values will never change. What will change is the UTC offset, depending on whether you're looking at gold, which is a New York structure, or Chicago. Or NASDAQ, which is Chicago structure, right? So Asia is 22 to 755, 8 to 1325 on London, and 1330 to 2000 on North America, right? That's all you need to know. Maybe I think it's actually, hang on. Yeah, it should be 2100. Sorry, 2100. 2100. 1330, 2100 against Chicago time. The UTC is -5. Oh, we finally got done on the trade. Thank God. Okay, we finally got done on the trade. Another dot validates itself. Okay, this is what I mean about this new setup. It's an incredibly powerful validating setup, right? Boom time, right? We got, what time is it? Is it 21, 10 seconds? So is everybody clear on how to set up NASDAQ session times? Does anybody need any further guidance on that? Remember, if you go to the ORB, right? Where's my ORB setting? Hang on, let me just do this. I'm gonna give you this link because this has the ORB page. The ORB page itself, just to let you know, has the UTC. Oh, this is telling you where's the sessions? I wish it showed you the sessions. Okay, session boxes. That's it. That's it. This is what you want. Yes, and I guess it's 2200 because it goes all the way to 1500. This is what you want. You want your sessions to be set to this, right? UTC is actually it's -5 right now because we're in daylight savings time. Chicago is -5. Okay. So I don't need to show this to you because I give you the resource. You can click. I'm going to give you the link. Here's the link. The ORB link. It's a permanent page to which you can set your session times. Right? Everybody clear? It's a UTC. By the way, this is also fucked up because this does not do daylight savings time. So with daylight savings time, it's UTC -5, UTC -4. Okay. Okay. All right. So once the sessions are made, you're good to go on the sessions. Tony says he does not have dots showing at all. Your chart does not look like mine, Tony. Does not look like this, even though you have DD plus PP and you have all of that stuff done. Let's make sure that you have everything checked off by the default, right? You should have the show delta label. You should have every one of these dots checked off except first dot per slope only. All of these are default settings. So in other words, if you just apply the default settings, it should all show up. Anybody else have any issues with this? You guys are clear? All right, let me know. We are 5 minutes away from the open. As you can see, the London session effectively closed at 9:25 New York. There's going to be like a little bit of 5-minute gap. ORB is not available on Well Charts. None of these are available on Well Charts. That's what I'm going to be working with them. I'll let you know. I'm going to be talking to them hopefully today, tomorrow, to see how far along we are on updating the code. I'm going to give them the latest mention. UTC setting is -5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Chicago is -5. Okay, there are just so many annoying things about global clocks because first we have Chicago versus New York, then we have daylight savings time in America against UTC. So nothing is definitive, and that's why and I know that the ORB. I'm gonna update the ORB page to say when it's daylight savings time, it's -5. I'm gonna put that up there, right? Yes, -5. Correct, Ben. Ben is absolutely correct. It's -5 for both against those settings, and then you're good to go. You will have the absolute accurate structures for how it's good to go, right? So in the meantime, I hope you guys are really enjoying the filtration. What should I call it? What's the oh God, what's the name of the brand that everybody, including me, what do we all have in our kitchens that filters the water? What is that fucking called? Oh my God. Oh. The little pitchers that we all use. What's the number 1 brand on that? Somebody please type in that thing before I lose my mind. Brita, thank you. Thank you. This is the Brita version of the DOTS system. It's the Brita, right? Brita. This is the high-end Brita version of DOTS. We are filtering it through trend and momentum filter to try to give us the cleanest, purest possible dot aversions we can. By the way, and I actually tried this, and it is insane. So I saw this on TikTok. I mean, and I don't drink, but I just tried this because for shits and giggles, I thought it was interesting. If you pour like hard liquor into your Brita filter, it completely filters out the taste of the alcohol. It is such a weird taste sensation to drink, like, let's say, scotch through your Brita filter. You would just freak out. Just a fun little thing to do for those of you who are basically functional alcoholics. Now, if we're not, I'm doing we're not going to get, fancy green outer. Everybody in the world has Brita. Brita is good enough, right? And this is a good enough filter, right? Brita is good enough for the world. And I actually have the best water in the world, and I still use the Brita filter because it actually makes a big difference. No, I swear it is so bizarre to just try this with a little bit of your hard liquor, run it through your Brita filter thing. It's just such a weird taste. It's incredible. It's just ridiculous. It literally takes out all of the kind of, textural notes of your alcohol. It just basically makes it into like a raw alcohol. No. It just removes the taste. The alcohol stay. You can't remove alcohol. Yeah, I agree, Nadine. I fucking hate all alcohol, except there's two things I absolutely love. I love hot sake. Like, I don't drink at all. It's not for any moral reasons or health reasons. I have zero tolerance for alcohol, and I find it primarily just disgusting. But there are a couple things I really, really, really like. I love hot sake, and because I'm Russian, a cold vodka, I can really go for that. Other than that, I just never ever drink. All right, opening up. Where are we at? 9:30. You can see that we're clearly trending. We clearly got the red dot. What is it? What time is it? It's the first minute of the session. We'll see. The session is it's going to open up, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, hot sake is really, really good. I'm not taking the first candle, because the first candle is usually almost always a fake out candle. Now, they're running the lows of the session, or the lows of the range. Keeping in mind, by the way, guys, as always, with a hat tip to our friend, the astrologer, the London session is pretty wide, 580 to 350. It's a 200-point range. It's very likely, very, very likely, that one of those edges is going to be tested, and maybe most likely the upper test. You see, by the way, how we have a strip and dip and strip, right? A complete reversal. We have the new high. This candle is sort of printing the highs of the New York session, right? And if the dot holds, we're going to go maybe to our wealth charts table and see if we can try to trade the wealth charts signal off the same thing. I mean, I'm still going to be trading the same idea, but I'm just going to rotate it maybe into a wealth chart. Yeah, we definitely have the signal. I'm going to 1 second left. I'm long this. It's going to retrace against me because it's always a very, very high thing. This is a very, very dangerous candle, but I'm taking it's probably going to stop me out. But I'm giving myself as much room as I possibly can within reason for a retrace move. This is a huge candle. This is a big vol candle, and I'm actually surprised. Why didn't the vol candle print 85? That should have been. Oh, did it not make the interesting? Why didn't put an X on there? Let me see if the volatility candle. candle volatility mode, 160. Yeah, it should, maybe it just missed it. I'm not sure. Huh. But anyways, we're long just for shits and giggles on this. It's probably going to stop me out on this particular move, but we'll give it the best shot we can. Yeah, it was just, I should, again, first 2-3 minutes on these high volatility candles, I should really, really not be chasing them. But it is what it is. We'll wait. So New York session, first 3 minutes of the day. Now I think we know. I think the rule of thumb is what we should be doing, and so that I don't do this anymore. I've kind of eliminated almost all my bad habits. This is probably the last one to eliminate. Is we're going to make a rule that the first 3 candles of the New York session, the first 3 minutes, doesn't matter what they do. We're not going to take any of those signals because because of the volatility retrace. That happens. But the range is actually surprisingly tight for the first 2-3 minutes of New York range. We're really like 539, like a 50-point range. That sometimes can be a function of like, oops, and now we have a red candle. Let me just short this. Shit, I'm late. I'm yapping. I'm super late on this entry. Super late. This entry would have already done me. Again, I'm just not executing well because I'm just not watching the markets because I wanted to 1, 2, 3. That should have been the signal. We could have easily gone 91. That was super easy. Now I'm just going to have to just basically take what I can get, flatten out, and just wait for the next session. Now we're hitting New York session lows. I can tell that because we're already breaking the lows, and now I'm actually going to follow this signal. I'm on well charts where you don't see any of my signals, but I know what they look like, from the back of it. I just want to trade this with you guys so that you can see it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, short. Okay, I'm short over here, and boom, and we're done. You see how fast we get done? When I time this right, and when I have the right structure, you can see how easy it is. That's a New York session low. Very easy trade to make. Right straight there for us to accomplish it. Let me get a little bit bigger here because everything is just so kind of crowded. So New York session, still within the London session, very tight range, but starting to print quality dots, Brita dots, the Brita filter dots. And of course, starting from this dot over here, this is all winning trades, right? We just needed to give ourselves that 3 minutes of volatility retrace. So, all good. We'll just stay patient here, see where things want to go. To kind of give you a heads up of why next week is probably going to suck is because this type of very non that's what I'm looking for, non-volatile price action is the signature story of Easter Passover week, when huge amount of liquidity, to use the Gen Zers word, gets sucked out of the system because everybody basically goes away on vacation. So I think we might be facing that. That's why I'm really of two minds of whether we should even be bothered trading next week. As this week progresses, we're going to see a lot more of this type of just like, let me trade it within a 10-point range bullshit market structure. All right, fresh New York session low, 16 seconds on the clock. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to rotate up into the 42 account here. Same idea. And then if the signal, holds, we're going to switch and I'm going to trade the wealth charts. When it does hold, I'm going to sell this. Okay, so now I've sold it into the great thing about it, I really like about wealth charts, look how easy it is to change, because that almost made my target. That just, so close, right? God, that was just painful not to get it done. That literally missed me by half a point. Now, of course, we could be facing a retrace risk, which it happens. But the great thing about wealth charts, and by the way, once the indicators on wealth charts, it's going to be so easy for all of you guys who are on wealth charts to trade it. Is the very fast account rotation here. I can just go from one account to the next account at a click of a button, and everything else is preserved. My stops, targets, all I got to do is hit the button, and it's all done, right? So, so I'm basically, and the other thing is, if I want to just tighten this up a little bit, I want to bring this up maybe just to see if I can get it done. Let's see if it, it floats to the downside. How's it look on the charts? Yeah, we're New York session lows, but we're kind of bouncing off of this thing. Could I retrace back out? Yes. I mean, the New York session low trade is always a two-edged sword. Sometimes you break the lows. Sometimes you just get a vicious bounce back. It's part of the job. That's why we rotate risk, and then come back to those accounts that are negative, and nurse them back to structure. But I think hopefully maybe we might be able to get this one done. Yeah, and we're done. See, we're done. That trade worked. It just took us. We just needed to be patient enough to let that work itself out. Now, we're starting to really trade as astrology will tell you, if they're going to gun the lows, they're going to gun the lows. We're about 60 points away from the lows, and it's not very, very fast moving. So I don't know if we're going to test the London lows on this particular leg. Might be worthwhile if we get another red dot. Might be worthwhile to take another short, but I'm not seeing a lot of velocity here, right? And I'm always a sucker for reversal trades. So I'm going to put the reversal trade. I'm going to put the point of control buy structure, which is obviously right over here at the 45 level. And if we actually clear that and hold it, that'll be a very decent V-shaped bottom against which I'm happy to trade. So for now, I'm open to the idea of maybe further downside price action. But if I get a reversal signal, I'm happy to take it. Overall, you see it's pretty lackluster, kind of a quiet, one step forward, two steps backwards type of trading, and it's fine. What's very, very cool is in our new approach where we are, we're not stressing, pressing, and kvetching about every single tick. It's just we just ride the pony until it stops going, right? One more New York session low signal for us here. 38 seconds left. Would I trade this? I think I will. I will take this to the downside because we're still making forward progress. Trend and dot count are all positive. Range is all good. There's really nothing here that is countervailing our Brita filter system. And as long as this stays in place on the close of the candle, it's a pretty legitimate short. I mean, I'm definitely want to take this. 8-9 seconds. At around 3 seconds, I'm going to switch over to well charts and see if we're gonna trade this. Yeah, I'm going to sell this on well charts. So short well charts, big candle. I could get retraced on this. I could have sold the bottom, but let's see if this gives me a little bit of continuity more to the downside. So this is New York session lows, right? Close was 87. Where's this target? Yeah, I'm pretty good location and shape here. Let's see if this pulls us down. And we are, when we look at the charts here, I think very, very close. Now we're first of all at London ORB, right? And we're going to be at London session lows very, very soon. So let's see if this. We're basically looking for a 77 print. Man, we're almost there, I think, and we're done. We're almost there. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. And we're done. And so one more clip our ways, right? One more forward price action. Let's rotate to a fresh account, to the 48 account, and just keep the scalping going and see what else it gives us. Now I have a fresh new reversal signal at 98. So now I'm kind of interested in this reversal signal because I'm just an inveterate bottom picker. But we might get a couple of more trend signals to the downside. It's really how easy is it now to follow the signals? Like, you got to tell me, you got to, I mean, look how easy it was. Every single one of these things we took and we banked. It's really, really, really easy with a new filter, right? It's just so intuitive. So I have, where am I? What time is it? 11 seconds left. If this thing closes, again, it's got to close through 97, which it does. Let's see if it does. Let me see. 96. Nope, it doesn't. Does not hold 97. Not a reversal trade yet. Certainly not even conclusively. It's hard to see because the label is covering the label, but it's just the nature of the beast. I can't do it any other way. Maybe I'll move the POC label to the other side. Maybe that's what I'd do. I'll move the POC label to this side, so then you'll have like two separate labels. There might be like one final cosmetic thing that I do here to change this, because one is blocking the other. I can see it. I know exactly what the levels are, but it's hard for you guys to see. But otherwise, I think just as far as the structure, come on, can a brother get a clap here? I think the filter system is very, very good. Like I said, I'm running 90% hit rate, right? With this new Brita, the new Brita filter, it's 90% pure. That's my claim to fame here. But no, I think it's so far so good as far as the hit rate. All right, so again, just to kind of let you know, I'm looking for the price. The price needs to close through this level at around 97, 98. Price is around 94, 90, 95. We got about 16 seconds left. So we're through this level. I'm just watching this thing. We're at 404, 12 seconds left. We clearly now have a legitimate reverse candle. The only thing that's stopping this trade from being a real trade is it's got to hold that level. And it then will better hold level on the close. And it doesn't. You see how it dips below? You see how it teases you and dips below? And every time, if you don't wait to the end, you're the sucker. You're the 3-card Monty sucker. You're going for the false trade. We trade the dots on a 1-minute time frames, Roland, because we are scalping. As you can see, we did about already 6-7 trades in a row. It's just we are pure scalpers. You can change it on any other different time frame, and you could even trade on a 1-minute time frame with much larger, bigger targets and swing. Like, for example, there are guys in the room right now who are very, very good at using, like, if we do get a V-shaped format, what they will do is they will take a position here, and this thing could go 200 points up, and they'll just simply scale out of the position. If that's your style and that's your structure, you can absolutely use the indicator. You can use the indicator in 100 different interesting ways. We're doing it in a way that it works best with the type of trading that I do, which is just pure scalping, because that's my personality. But that's not the only way you can trade this. 400 round number, yeah. I mean, there's a round number there. That's true. But honestly, it's just a matter. You see how, like, look at how it's just getting that is the cement ceiling. The point of control line is a cement ceiling, and now we just fresh lows, right? If we hold this level, we got a short. It's New York session lows, and we're actually going to go into the London session lows, just like astrologer says. Now, this area over here, this is a dangerous trade. I'm actually going to pass up on this trade because, as astrology has shown us, this is the trade where they love to just run the session lows and come right back up. In fact, if you sort of have a perverse sense of price action, you'd be a buyer. If you were a buyer here, you would have already made your 10 points, right? Actually buying the spike low against the London session lows, as you can see over here, is a pretty productive move, right? Now, if we start pressing through this, making fresh session lows, yes, I am fully on board. But this is the reason why I held off, because contextually, and this is the beautiful thing about the indicator, is it gives you lots of different contexts as long as you know how to read it. It was not. It was actually the opposite of this trade was the high probability trade. Hey, astrologer, did you buy the low here? Did you buy the 60 low? I'm just curious. You probably did, right? You probably traded this for the pop because that was such an obvious setup right now. He's too busy trading. Oh, he did the low test. You did it a little bit earlier. You did it a little bit earlier. I see it. I see your comment. You did it just a little. You were ahead of me. But the point being is you can literally see, and you see what's really cool about the room is how different traders use this indicator to create fresh, interesting trade ideas throughout the day that you guys can all benefit from, right? So we kind of, we broke the fresh session lows a little bit. Again, I am right now kind of focused on the reversal trade. Do I think we make fresh session lows? We could, absolutely. But I kind of want to. This is the classic first 20 minutes. Everybody pukes out all of their market orders. Dealers come back. Basically, try to inventory as much as they can at these levels, and then see if they can run the shorts out of town. Given the fact there's a lot of negative skew here, I'm not so sure that's going to be possible. But we see that this action happening all the time. From our perspective, we could just watch them try to test if they break these session lows, into the 50s or lower. Like right now, if I get a red dot signal on this trade, I would really be obligated to take it because it means they're really breaking the London and they're taking it lower. However, as you can see, they're holding London, right? And if they hold London here and they hold London for another minute, and maybe hold London for another minute, then they're going to run the 99, and that's going to become the reversal trade for us that we can take advantage of. That's sort of everything that's going through my mind as I watch all of this right now with you, right? Also getting into a little bit of consolidation and chop, right? But the shorts are by no means done. The shorts are pressing the shorts, right? Like this, if we're staying in this configuration, we got to sell the shorts. 35 seconds left. If the dot stays in place, where we're trading at below session lows, we got to take it. And they don't, right? They kind of probe it. We're going into a little bit of a chop. Maybe a couple of more candles of like back and forth, and then they're going to try and see if we can rip it to the upside. So the cool thing about like the way we trade dots is that we don't know what's going to happen next, but we have a scenario for what could happen next that gives us an edge. In other words, we don't know if things are going to go up or down, but we have an idea of what we want to do in both of those cases that hopefully will give us the continuity edge that we're looking for, which is the only thing you can really do in trading. It's not about anticipating what happens next. It's about anticipating what you do after what happens next. It's really anticipating it's about planning on how you would react as to what happens next. That makes sense to you guys? A4022. I like your handle. By the way, I think our friends at Apex, please, I think still have the big discounts. So it's perfect time to inventory. I think they're probably going to go away pretty soon on the April cycle. To inventory, I'm going to inventory a couple of accounts to be able to trade the straddles, of course. So we held off the lows. We're making a little bit of a rounded procession here. Not a lot of conviction either way. Nobody's sweeping bids or offers right now, but we're consolidating above the session lows. The point of control still remains at around 99. That's the big level, and we're going to be very patient and just tread lightly until we get a look. This is where we thrive. We thrive. I'm trying to get my little thing here. We thrive in these kind of conditions when we can get a nice big trend movement. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners, and then we just sit tight until we get a fresh run, right? So when we don't have signals, we don't have to say, "Oh, what happened? What did I just do? Oh, I just deleted the whole thing. Hold on, I deleted my whole indicator. Sorry, I'm going to delete this." Okay. Fresh session lows. 3. We're gonna short this. Sell. There we go. See, I'm not. We're agnostic, baby. We're very mercenary. We're looking for the reversal. It ain't coming. They just keep pressing it to the downside. Well, hell yes, we're gonna take that. Anybody take that trade with me? $18 seconds left. A fresh session lows. Do we run the 300s? Maybe. All right. More fresh session lows. Took this low. We'll see if that's the bottom. I'm going to rotate to the 50 account. I'm just going to keep rotating accounts. That one either gets done or doesn't get done. But the reversal trade here at 50 now becomes very, very compelling. We'll see. Boom. I think we got done on the, let me just double check. Yeah, we got done on the 48s. Now I'm in the 50 account. I'm just rotating accounts. Just basically hopscotch the risk. I like that. I like that expression. Hopscotch the risk. That's what I do. I have an internal rule where if I get 3 dots in a row, that's enough. I don't press my luck in terms of momentum. I actually now want to just pause. I really want to. Now the reversal candle is at 36, right? The reversal level is at 36. So if we can recapture and hold that level, I'm more than happy to go the other side. We may still have, we may have a run all the way to the 300, which is fine. I'm going to leave that last run to the 300 to the Momo boys. There's only one A40. There's only one. It's pinned to the thing. If you want the whole shebang, I'm going to give it to you right now. I'm just going to give you the link. This is what you want. You want the full Monty treatment, 6 months, all the indicators, Kathy and me in coaching. Okay, I just gave it to you right now. See, it is going to 300, and I held off the pedal. If you guys are pressing Momo, you would have made more. You would have continued to make money. The new level, by the way, the reversal level moves down now to the 25s. My pleasure. Who's pressing? Who is the Momo King today? Who's pressing every one of these fucking trades and just banging all the points while I sit here like the little pussy that I am because I don't want to chase momentum. Come on. I know there's somebody in the room that's just pressing every one of these trades right now. Yes, no? Tell me. POC buy now is at 18. Come on, raise your hands. Who's pressing every one of these trades? I know you guys are just killing it somewhere there. Ben, anybody? Clean Saber. Clean Saber is pressing. Of course he's pressing him. Of course he's pressing him. And Neil is pressing him. Good for you guys. Really, really easy with the new indicator, right? So fucking easy. So easy with the indicator. Like this, I love this new version. The only thing I got to do is I gotta get the POC label to the other side so it's a little bit visible. But it's just so easy to press to follow this. Everything is green, and the screen just makes it easy. You know where you're going to see the exit green? I think if we hold the POC, that's going to be at least maybe for the next 5-10 minutes, a temporary swing low. Could always be wrong here. Oh, you know what? I got to make sure that I'm in the right account. We'll press this. I want to go to, I think, let's go to 61. I want to keep rotating my, oh, here we go. Yes, absolutely. Okay, we are, the level here was 17. 47 seconds left. Okay, here comes the moment of truth, right? Level is actually 18 on the POC. You can't see it, but the point of control reversal on the buy side is 18. If we close above 18, that's the trade. As a matter of fact, we can just stay on wealth charts because we know that 18 is our level, right? I could just actually here, I'm going to put the level here at 18. So just kind of like a zone. And we know that if we hold above that, that's going to be a trade for us. 3, 2, 1. Boom. We held it. Now we're at the point of control. Let's see if it actually reverses. And now I'm also generating the ORB levels, which I'm going to share with you in just 1 second. And you're going to see how cool it is because hopefully they're going to print on Twitter as well. All right, so we just to let you know, we have we cleared that 18 level on that candle. We're long 18 for this, for this reversal candle. Can we make it? Yay! We made it. All right, the POC got done. But here's the cool part. I want to show you. So now we printed the ORB levels, right? The New York session ORB levels, the highs and the lows. But let's go to my Twitter and let's see if it actually printed it. Because if this is working, I'm just going to love it because that means we can, it's always going to print. So if you go to my, okay, yes, look at this live trade. Current price is actually above VWAP. And is it true? It was still above the VWAP? I guess it was just at that point, but the VWAP, it actually came below. So that sort of gives you, at the edge, it didn't give you quite the right. But buy rips through 20. What? No. Sorry. No. Hang on. This is an old print. Let me see. Control R. Did it print? New York session. Yeah, here's the proper session. So 516 dips 360. These are the ORB levels. This is the bias. Okay, so that actually did print correctly. So let me just make sure. 16 to the up and 360 to the bottom. Yeah, 16 to the up, 360 to the bottom. That's correct. And price is just marginally above the ORB. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, now it's print. It does print the ORB levels, so we can totally trade against that. No, Tony, I can't. It's a great strategy. I love the 1, 2, 3 strategy. I love it. If I could fucking do it, I would do it. I'm just not. I said to myself, you know what? I'm a big pussy. I'm going to trade 1x. Maybe in a couple of weeks, when I have like such confidence, it's a 90% 1x. I'm going to try and trade larger. But you notice how calm and non-tilty my trading is today, right? It's just like boom, 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 right? I am just, I'm making nickels and dimes and I'm going forward and I don't give a shit, right? I just I know my own personality. And I was like, you know what? I'm such a pussy. I can't even take the 2x trade. It bothers me. So yeah, that's the reason. It's not that the strategy sucks. I just know I suck. So I'm trying to minimize my own tilty. But of course, you're welcome to do it. If you like that, it's awesome. That's the truth. So the only thing left cosmetically is just to move the POC level to the left, flush left, so that we don't, it's not in the mood. But it worked perfectly, right? We cleared the 18 level, worked beautifully. Now we're probably going to do a little bit of a double bottom test, a little bit of congestion, and we can see where things go. We're clearly below the ORB levels. We clearly have a lot of the first half hour was a big negative sell. But the big question, and the price will tell us, is was this the puke job of the day, and I'm going to spend the rest of the day slowly rebuilding and then coming back through the ORB highs, or are we destined to basically spend the rest of the day in Hades, in downward hell here under the VWAP? What's really cool? I just realized now that I have like the automation bug, is we can actually have the I can actually have the tool like do an update midday. Where are we? Are we up below above VWAP? Are we below the ORB levels? That will give you a lot more context and tonality of the day. Like, I want to make these ORB tweets contextual, not just level based, but contextual. So again, with double bottoming, kind of like trading against this point of control level, 48 seconds left, we can very much try to trade this again. Let's just go to 62 account. And if this candle holds against this level, I'm happy to take a second reversal trade. Jesus Christ, this thing is running away from me. I hate it when they run away from me too much. No, it's not. The automation. I'm talking about the Twitter stuff. The Twitter basically is using my ORB indicator on TradingView and generating all of that content. But I think I can create even more interesting, valuable content. This is just sort of proof of concept of like, I get a signal, it generates content. You can use that content for trade ideas. Okay, so this is a second hold above the reversal. This 18 line, as you can see, I'm just sort of manually drew it. You can literally visually see that this is what we're trying to trade. And let's see if we can. It almost. I missed the target by a point. Let's see if we can hold out. And 61, and try to rotate through these accounts. Those are all defaults. Just download it and get the defaults. They're right then and there. Oh, and we're done. See, a nice clean reversal, second one in a row. So honestly, guys, look, with the new Brita filter, I literally am like 90% accurate today. Like, if we look at the this is wealth charts, right? Hitting everything on wealth charts, and obviously, whatever we did on Tradeovate was all clean. I actually, let's just for shits and giggles, what time is it? It's 10:09. I was going to do, if you want to do a little bit of analytics, we can definitely do those analytics. Let's just do this. Where am I? Tradeovate. No, I want to go to, let's go to Tradeovate and just download. I'm going to show you how to do this super easy. Into reports. We want to do this week because it's not just today, it's today and yesterday. So we'll start with 65, download, 58, download, 67. No, we don't need 67 doesn't work. Download 54, 56, 47. Okay. And now we'll just go over here and into our analyzer, clear, upload these last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Open. Analyze. Where's my ratio? 91.9, right? 20 wins, 2 losses. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Keep rocking it. Anybody using, by the way, the trade analyzer? That is such an incredibly valuable tool for just basically understanding, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. I'm just curious. Can you give me let's do a little poll. I'm just curious. Are you using my free trade analyzer? And then I actually I have a secondary question for everybody, which is, like right now, we have Tradeovate, Wealth Charts, and MetaTrader as the type of platforms that you can have this analyzed on. What would be the next couple of platforms that you would want to see be like, in other words, what would be the next 3 platforms? Charles Schwab, Thinkorswim, maybe Tasty Trade. Which platforms would you like to see be incorporated into the trade analyzer, so you could upload your results and have it quickly analyzed? I'm just, I'd love to know your inputs. Oh man, I missed the I missed the trade. We do have, okay, here we go. ORB Pierce setting up, right? Setting up right here. We are above VWAP, so that means this is a long only ORB signal. If we can hold this above, what is the level here? 60, 2360. Let's go over here into you know what? Let's go into one of the pre-funded accounts. Did it go through here? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just following. This is the ORB Pierce, coming back into the buy zone of the opening range break, because we are now positive territory. Tasty trades. Okay. That's fine. So basically, this is a trade that I am. It's a different strategy from dot strategy. It's our ORB strategy. This is the lower end of ORB. We're above VWAP, which means we're positive bid, and that means it's a buy. Remember, I said it's buy the rips and sell the dips. This is a dip into the ORB session, and we're trying to get this done. And it already got funded. So I mean, it already got done. So that ORB trade also worked. Now I haven't even processed all the wealth charts trades I did with you guys today, but I think wealth charts would confirm my trade of eight ratio of around 91%. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think Schwabi is going to be like the next. I think I'm going to do Schwab, Tasty Trades, maybe Think or Swim as my next set of buttons to be able to do, because God, they're so annoying. The format they give you is just impossible to really make sense of, and I think the tool would be really, really useful. I think I'm going to work on those trades next as a thing. Oh, Ninja Trader, yeah, Gloria, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, I think Gloria, I think you're right. I think the proper sequence will be Ninja, TOS, Schwabi, and then after that we do Tasty Trade, and then I will have like almost everybody's brokerage statement analysis software, and it's going to make it really, really easy. And then we're going to create a whole dedicated page to Trade Analyzer. You know what, Roland? I think it's because their 85% discount expired. Ben, did Apex roll down the discount now to just 50%? Oh, IBKR, George, that's probably going to be, a project unto itself. I thought you're always on top of all the things. I would say, Roland, that the discount it's probably went away. If you want to wait a day or two, they will come back with with a big discount, or you can just use the 50%, buy the smaller accounts. I think must be what happened, is that they go from steep discounts to 50% discounts to steep discounts. They will definitely go back to fresh discounts soon. So if you want to wait a little bit patiently, you can. Okay, there's no current Apex account, right? So we are very choppy. And what you see here, by the way, is that there's enough traction here in the price action that we're still getting trend signals and we're still getting range signals, but we're not getting dot signals. There's just no dots showing up here. So the triple filtration system is really working well, right? I don't know, Mark. We don't have any setups right now. I mean, we're just trading the next candle. So I have no idea if it's going to go to 600 or the next thing. The whole point of scalping is we try to predict the next candle. That's why we try to. That's why we hopefully have such a high hit rate. Is because we are, people are going to be sick and tired of me making that analogy, but it's the weather analogy, right? I can't tell you what the weather's going to be like tomorrow or a week from now. I have a relatively decent idea what it'll be an hour from now, and I have an absolutely almost certain idea what it's going to be a minute from now. So I try to trade on the minute time frame for that reason. Oh, that's a good question, Rick. Rick is actually saying, hey, what happens if you had a signal? Well, remember, Rick, you would need that's a great question. Rick is basically asking, what if you had a signal? It took you into trade. You had a dot, you had a trend, you had everything going, and then it just died. Everything died, and the trend label went into chop. Range may still be in your zone, but not there. Do you just bail in the trade that you have? I'm going to leave that as a discretionary move. Like right now, like imagine I was in a dot. Imagine this was a dot trade, and now went into chop. Probably, I think, Rick, you're correct that you should, heed the early warning signal. I mean, sometimes, it's just consolidation and you get continuity, but it's an interesting observation of like, would I do this on a chop? Probably, honestly, what I do, Rick, is like, for example, if I was just for argument's sake, if I'm long on this dot candle and then I get a contrary signal here, but I'm not stopped out on this trade, I will take the sell trade in a different account, and I'll just manage them both. Rarely, both of the trades win. Usually one trade loses, one trade wins, but at least I capture a win in one account, and then I worry about the loss mitigation in the other account. I think that's probably my answer, right? I stay in the I'm in the trade. I stay in the trade. If I get a contra signal, I use, because I have multiple accounts, my other account to trade it. That's sort of like what I do. So a little bit slow, but you know what's perfect about the fact that it's a little slow is that we're not doing stupid trades, right? No stupid trades, no stupid prizes. I haven't made a trade in like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. And that was the best decision I ever made. And the reason why is because it's just not giving me any signals. The new love the new Delta label. I did too. It took me a long time. I wanted to distill it to its cleanest, simplest, reading, so that somebody who has just even a cursory understanding of what we do here, it becomes intuitive to him. I'm trying to make everything as intuitive as possible. As I said, the only thing that's left is to change the POC label to the right side, but that's just a cosmetic thing. So that's it. Good session, guys. We killed it all across the board. I'm going to take it under advisement that we want to do Ninja and TOS next, and I think I'm going to try and work on those settings for everybody, and see if we can get that going for the trade analyzer. In the meantime, we could be quiet, and then we could just rip it in the next hour. For now, there's no signals, but you have all the tools. When the signals appear, hopefully you get a chance to hit them. All right, I got to run because I got a meeting with my marketing. Tomorrow I'm going to be in Jersey. I'm going to trade with you guys from Jersey, so it should be a lot of fun. I'm going to trade today. Asia is going to be 7 to 8. I think we're going to go to like just 1 hour Asia. We're going to trade gold. I think it's going to be really interesting to use this new filter on gold, because I think it's going to give us even better gold signals. So we'll be trading gold in Asia 7 to 8. That's going to be kind of the new schedule for us on a weekday basis. And I'll post the link and I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys there. Any final questions? Anything? Any thoughts on your mind? What's going on? Let me know. Last question. Oh, we got a possible buy. 2 seconds. Where's my white dot? Did not hit the white dot. Why didn't it hit the white dot? What happened? What happened? Oh, I know. You know why I didn't. Oh no, it did hit the white dot. You can't see it. I'm sorry. That was actually a buy signal. I just didn't take it because it's everything is getting hidden by all these labels that are we get just an overwhelming list. This is actually both an ORB break up and a white dot. Pretty legitimate candle. Let's see if it works. But decent, definitely a decent signal. So just for argument's sake, for shits and giggles, if we were long 61, we're looking for 71. Hopefully we'll hit. I'll leave it to you guys. Everybody have a great day. We're green on the screen, which is for Monday, always really good. And I'll see everybody for gold in Asia today, a little bit later. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.